Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and welcome if you are new. My name is Grace, and if this is your first time joining me, welcome. I wish I would be coming with a better video for the first time you are watching my channel, but go ahead and subscribe, stick around, because a lot of my videos are not heavy like this one is. So I'm going to jump right in. As you guys can tell by the title, I'm just going to be sharing my miscarriage story with you guys. I have my phone right here because I just have some notes and some things I want to make sure that I discuss and I say in this video. I'm going to try and make sure that it is not too lengthy. So let's go ahead and jump right in. I had a miscarriage a couple of months ago, which was devastating. My reason for sharing this is because when I was going through the motions of it all, and I still am, it's been months later and I still am going through the motions of it, I felt like I was alone. And if you're a woman who recently suffered a miscarriage, who has suffered multiple miscarriages, who's having trouble conceiving or anything like that, I just want you to know that you're not alone. There's so many women who go through what you're going through. When I had my miscarriage, even though I physically knew, like I knew people who have dealt with this, I still felt alone. We always knew we wanted to grow our family. We knew that we didn't want just one child. It was always important for us to grow our family, but we wanted my daughter to reach a certain age. We wanted to reach a certain level financially before we did that. We knew like around 2.5, 2 was like the perfect time for us to grow our family. We never had trouble conceiving our daughter. Honestly, we tried once and then we conceived our daughter, so we were never worried about that. Our daughter was around 2.5 and then the pandemic happened. So because I already have a pre-existing condition, we thought it was important to just wait it out a little bit longer. So we didn't start trying to have another child until about the fall. So September is when I finally got pregnant. I was super excited because, you know, I knew I always wanted to grow my family and I was just waiting for the right time, and it felt like the right time. So I found out I was pregnant at the end of September and I was really excited. So obviously when you find out you're pregnant, it's not right away that the doctor's gonna see you. At least at my OB, they like to wait until you're about 8 weeks before you come in for your first appointment. So my first appointment wasn't until like the end of October, beginning of November-ish, around that time. So when I went, again, we're in the middle of a pandemic, so my husband couldn't come with me. I think he stayed in the car, and yes, the first appointment he stayed in the car, and I kind of just FaceTimed him in, and they were okay with that. And the doctor did mention that the baby looked small, but we saw the baby had a heartbeat, everything was fine. He said because the baby is measuring small, so it seemed like even though I was supposed to be 8 weeks, I was measuring like 6 weeks or something like that. He was like that I should come back in another 2 weeks. So during that 2 week that I was supposed to come back, about 3 or 4 days after my first doctor's appointment, I started feeling like a little bit of pressure. I almost felt like it was gas. If you know me, I always have like, I don't want to say issues with my stomach, but I always have an upset stomach. If I drink coffee, I have an upset stomach. If I eat the wrong food, I have an upset stomach. So I didn't like chalk it up to anything. It was very random. It wasn't like it was consistent or anything like that. So this was maybe about 3 to 4 days after my first appointment. So then maybe about a day later, I went to use the bathroom. I wiped and I saw the slightest tinge of pink on the tissue. It was so slight that honestly I didn't think anything of it. My husband is in the medical field. I showed it to him. He wasn't concerned about it, so we left it at what it was. Like, we already saw the baby, we knew the baby was fine, or so we thought, and it was nothing. So then another couple days go by. Again, this still like gassy, crampy feeling keeps going on. And I say, like, I know what a cramp feels like because I have bad menstrual cramps. I mean, I know what implantation cramps feel like. I know what labor cramps feel like. So I know what cramps feel like, and this didn't feel like actual cramping. It was a different type of feeling, which is why I say it feels like it was almost gas. So it continued off and on. Again, it was very sporadic, it wasn't consistent. So then again, this day I happened to go to the bathroom. This is about maybe 2 to 3 more days after this has first occurred. So this time I wiped myself again, and there was definitely pink. Like, it was pink. And I was like, I called my husband. I was like, babe, this is definitely blood. Like, I'm not, like, this is definitely, something's going on. This is definitely blood. So he's like, okay, you know, call the doctor. I called the doctor and I was like, hey, you know, I don't know if this is an emergency, but I was just there about a week and a half ago. I wiped, and no, about a week ago. I was there about a week ago, and I just finished using the bathroom. I wiped, and there's some pink light blood on the tissue, and they were like, okay, you know, come in tomorrow. So that tomorrow ended up being the day before Thanksgiving. And if you know me personally, you know Thanksgiving is a big deal in our household. The whole family gets together. It's a really big thing. We get super excited about Thanksgiving and the holiday season. So we were really excited. I was ready for Thanksgiving. I helped my mom cook and everything like that. But I had this doctor's appointment the day before. So my husband was able to take me to the doctor's office. So we go there. I don't see my usual doctor. I see a different doctor. There's 3 doctors in the practice. So throughout your pregnancy, you see all 3 doctors because there's a chance one of those 3 are going to deliver you. So I didn't see my regular doctor. I just saw one of the other doctors. Honestly, at that point, I didn't care. I just needed to make sure, like, my baby was okay. So when I got there, again, my husband couldn't come in, and I get on the table, you know, he talks to me like, oh, you know, you saw blood, and I'm like, yeah, it was really light, you know, I wasn't too concerned, but when I saw it again, like, I was concerned. Oh, and going back, like, the day I called the doctor to make the appointment, I continued to see blood. It was light pink. Even though it was light pink, it was blood. I continued to see it every single time I went to the bathroom. It never got darker at the time, and I was just like, okay, I'm glad I have an appointment tomorrow because it was still blood. The tissue was still pink. So we get to the doctor's office. He talks to me, and then we start the ultrasound, and he's like checking the cervix, he's checking the ultrasound, and you know, immediately he didn't say anything right away, so immediately, like, my heart sank and I knew something was wrong. It felt like 10 minutes, but it probably wasn't even up to 10. And he was like, did Dr. So-and-so see a heartbeat last time? And I was like, yes. So that's when he stops the ultrasound and he tells me that I'm in the early stages of having a miscarriage. And it was in that moment that I broke down completely. I started crying profusely. I honestly, I felt a little bit embarrassed with how bad I was crying. He tried to console me. My husband was on FaceTime, and you know, I'm wearing my mask. I got rollers in my hair, I had a scarf on, because it was the day before Thanksgiving, and I just received this horrible news, and I'm like just there, like crying. And I'm the type of person, I know I don't like, it takes me time to process my emotions. So although it hit me, that was just the initial shock, but by the time they did blood work, because now they have to watch my HGC levels go down, which is the pregnancy hormone, they have to watch it go down. So they wanted to see where I was at. So then I was coming each week to make sure it was going down. That was a whole, that is another story in itself. Every time I came to do blood work, I had another meltdown because I'm there in the waiting room with all these women who are pregnant. And I'm like, I'm in the waiting room with all these women who are pregnant. And I'm like, I'm supposed to be pregnant too. Like, oh my God, I did not think that I was gonna cry making this video. And I always said I'm not gonna be one of those people who cry. But I said I'm supposed to be one of these women too who's pregnant. And here I am sitting here, and I lost my baby, and I'm only here for blood work to see if my hormone levels are going down. Over the next few days, so we get home, it's the day before Thanksgiving, so we're hanging out with my parents, my siblings. I'm acting like everything is okay. From the time I left the doctor's office till the time I got like to my parents, I had already told my older sister what happened. I told my best friend what happened. I told my daughter's godmother what happened. So I told them already, and I just got it out the way. So when I got home, like, my parents knew I had a doctor's appointment. So when I got to their house, they were like, oh, is everything good? And I was like, yeah. And I laid down to go take a nap. And my husband told my parents. My husband told my dad, my husband told my mom, and my husband told the rest of my siblings. I couldn't just bring myself to say anything to them because I knew, like, it was the day before Thanksgiving and I didn't want to ruin anyone's Thanksgiving. But it was hard. It was hard. I remember spending most of the day sleeping. And I remember putting on a strong front for my family. Because I felt that that's what I had to do. And it was hard. I can't even believe, like, over the next couple of days, if you know someone who's had a miscarriage or you've had a miscarriage yourself, you know what the next couple of days were like. By the end of Black Friday, I was having intense cramps. Like, this was intense. Like, it felt like contractions and there was nothing I can do about it. I was laying in bed and I was literally just waiting to pass my child. I didn't have to do a DNC because, again, baby was measuring small, so there was no need to do a DNC. Everything was just going to pass by itself. I'm gonna spare you guys the details, but it was a lot. Every time I would go to the bathroom, I was passing clots. Even if I didn't go to the bathroom, if I just sat on the toilet, I was passing clots. When I would stand up over the next 2 days, so this is Black Friday, Small Business Saturday. So that Friday, Thursday I was fine. I went to the doctor Wednesday. Thursday I was fine. Friday evening the cramps started. By Friday into Saturday I was a mess with a ton of cramps and a lot of bleeding, to the point that when I stood up I felt like my insides were dropping. So yeah, I'm gonna spare you guys the details on that. By Sunday there was still mild cramping and there was still heavy bleeding, but by this time it was just like I had a period, and then it trickled down by the end of the following week. And ever since then my period has been very inconsistent. That was November. I had a period in December. I didn't have a period in January. My period has just been like all over the place. But the doctor did tell me it can take time for things to get back in order. It was hard. It was hard because I felt like, what did I do? Did I do something? But we know that when you have a miscarriage, there's a bunch of things that can cause a miscarriage, but if you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, miscarriages happen when cells aren't forming properly or things like that. So it's important to know that if you as a woman and you're watching this, you're doing everything that you're supposed to. You're taking your prenatals, you're eating the right foods and all of that good stuff, and this still happens to you, know that it is not your fault. These things sometimes just happen, and I know that God has a reason for what he allowed me to go through. Was it easy? Absolutely not. I spent months and weeks and days crying, silent tears. I would lay in bed at night and cry. I have a whole bunch of friends right now who are pregnant and who are currently having babies, and I'm absolutely happy for them. And yes, you know, as human beings, it's normal for us to ask, why not me? Like, why did I have to lose my baby and all of my friends, and seeing all of them happy? But I'm the type of person that when I see my friends happy, it makes me happy. So there was really no room for jealousy. It just was showing God that when it's my turn, Lord, I know my time is coming. I want to continue to say this. If you are a woman who has gone through this, know that you are not alone, because I felt that way. I felt like I was alone. I felt like it was my fault, and none of the above was true. So yeah, that is why I've been away. Although this happened in November, again, I said I'm not the type of person who, my feelings don't, like, it doesn't hit me. Although I had an initial shock when I found out I was having a miscarriage, but it took weeks before, like, it actually really sunk in to my soul that, like, I'm no longer pregnant. And yeah, I came in January with some awesome videos, but it was around that January that it really hit me, like, yo, I'm not pregnant anymore, and I had a miscarriage a couple months ago. It's not something that you're gonna get over right away, and it takes time, even till today. Anyway, this is, you guys are gonna watch this video in May. Even till today, I'm still, like, I still have my moments where I'm like, wow, you know, and I still feel down. And I just, now I try not to dwell, like, on it, because it has been a while since it happened, but I'm able to talk about it. I'm able to share with you guys my story. If any of you have gone through this, my heart goes out to you, and I hope that this video just provides any woman who has dealt with this situation with some encouragement. And I just want to take the time to just pray for whoever is having trouble conceiving, or who has had multiple miscarriages. My heart is with you, and God will fill whatever, you know, emptiness you are currently feeling. He will fill it for you guys. So I thank you guys so much for watching. Sorry if this video was lengthy, but moving forward I will have more upbeat and uplifting videos. I just wanted to come back and tell you guys why I've been away. I don't feel like it was right for me to have been gone for a couple of months and then just come back like, hey, like nothing happened, because I tried to be as transparent as possible here on my channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.